in the embrace of her teammates before anybody else even crossed the line.
The rain fell hard, the track glistened, and Team USA shined brighter than ever. Under the lights of Japan's National Stadium, the American women's 4x400m squad unleashed pure domination to reclaim their world title in record-breaking fashion, storming to gold in 3:16.61, a championship record and the fifth fastest time in history. Jamaica fought bravely for silver in 3:19.25, and defending champions the Netherlands took bronze in 3:20.18. But on this night, the Stars and Stripes blazed in a league of their own. The tone was set from the very first stride. Isabella Whittaker exploded out of the blocks, delivering a composed 50.12 opener that instantly put the US ahead. Then came the spark that turned momentum into mayhem. Lynna Irby-Jackson, running the leg of her life, 48.71 seconds of fury, blew the race wide open. By halfway, the Americans had built a 10-meter lead, and the crowd knew something special was unfolding. Aaliyah Butler took the baton and refused to let the pace drop, clocking a smooth 49.96 to extend the advantage. And then, as if written in the stars, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, the reigning 400 meters world champion, stepped on the track and made the rest of the world disappear. Her 47.82-second anchor leg wasn't just a finish. It was a statement. A victory lap of power and precision. A golden encore to a masterpiece. The win wasn't just about speed. It was about redemption. 2 years ago in Budapest, the US had been heartbreakingly disqualified for a baton exchange outside the zone. But in Tokyo, they came back united, unstoppable, and uncatchable. Their 3:16.61 erased the 32-year-old championship record set by another American Dream Team in 1993 and reaffirmed their dynasty, 11 titles and 17 editions. When you have great teammates like these women, it's amazing, said McLaughlin-Levrone, beaming trackside. My last lap felt like a victory lap for all of us. You never know who's chasing, so I just ran like the gold depended on it. Irby-Jackson, whose lightning second leg turned the race into a rout, added, I wasn't sure how fast I was going. I just knew I was ready to fly. To bring gold home and add to this legacy? Incredible. Behind the American avalanche, Jamaica showed courage and cohesion. Their trio of Dejania Oakley, Stacey Ann Williams, and Andronette Knight fought hard to keep the Netherlands at bay. And anchor Nikisha Price sealed silver with a fearless 48.50 leg. We knew the challenge ahead, said Williams. Facing Sydney and Femke in the final stretch isn't easy, but we trusted each other. That's why we're proud of this silver. The Netherlands, led by Femke Bol, gave everything in pursuit of another title. Their lineup, Eveline Salberg, Lieke Klaver, Lisanne de Vita, and Bol, ran with unity and joy. Klaver's 49.08 and Bol's 49.10 showed world-class form, earning a proud bronze and closing Bol's Tokyo campaign with a full medal collection. Gold, silver, and bronze. Belgium finished fourth in 3:22.15, followed by Poland in 3:22.91, and Norway, who smashed a national record with 3:23.71, thanks to Henriette Jaeger's stunning 49.53 anchor. But this night belonged to Team USA, a team of precision, power, and poise that turned a rain-soaked final into a show of greatness. As the rain poured, they raised their flags in their fists. 4 women, 1 mission, 1 record, 1 legacy reborn. In Tokyo, under the storm, the queens of the 4x400 meter took back their crown, and did it faster than ever before.